Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and it's Brick Haul O'Clock with what every growing boy or girl needs, a package from Lego Bricks and Pieces. Right, so as I say, this is from Lego Bricks and Pieces, one of two Lego brick services that Lego Group offers. If you don't know the difference between bricks and pieces and pick a brick, do check out my guide to buying Lego bricks video because they are very different. But this is bricks and pieces, which has the wider selection. And what we've got is a great big bag, just one. Put the rest of that to one side. Looks mainly dark red on first glance, but there's quite a few different bricks in there and quite a few different uses as well. So I guess I'll just tip up the whole lot. Now, this was one of two orders that I need, as I say, for multiple projects, but that I really needed as a matter of urgency for my Halloween builds. And that's because I've got, well, quite a lot planned for actually the final 2 weeks run up to Halloween at the end of the month. So I made one which was covering lots of little bits for sort of ghosty parts and so on. As you'll see, there's quite a few little bits in here in spring green and so on. So they were filling in a few gaps that I needed because I was designing this kind of last month, and this was kind of the first batch of what I knew I'd need. And then the second order, which I guess we'll do next week, which has thankfully arrived, is all the other stuff, which is a bit more boring in some respects, which is to do with the subway station. So the whole area there is going to be a huge Halloween scene. And as I say, we've got the first parts of that in here today. So immediately, one thing I can see are these lovely train doors in black. And here are the lovely train door windows in trans light blue. And they obviously just fit in like that. And I think they'll suit very well a subway train. So they look grand, and it's great to have them new. So that's fantastic. So the reason why this colour are available is because they're as part of the Hidden Side Ghost Train Express 70424. So they're available for purchase individually as well. And although that set, I think, uses the trans brown or trans black window pieces, there's also the trans light blue available. So I went for that as well because I thought it looked a bit more ghostly, if I'm honest with you. So I should have another one of those, and there it is. There's the other side of that, and hopefully there's another window somewhere. There it is. So that was quite easy to find. So I've got a pair of those. Ooh, can't get that one in. Don't want to break it. That would be a disaster. That's quite interesting. It's got two things at the bottom and one thing at the top, so you can't get it in upside down. So that's a good development. Right, so I've got a pair of those. Good start. Other things for Halloween. Well, I've got loads of these sort of spooky finger type pieces, kind of like a bony skeleton finger in this spring green colour. And they're very interesting, aren't they? They've been all sorts of Ninjago sets over the years, but more recently they've been part of the Newbury Abandoned Prison, set 70435. And like all Hidden Side sets, they weren't sort of immediately visible until you kind of converted the prison, in that case, into its kind of spooky alternative build. So that's kind of how I'm going to be using them. But I don't think I'm going to have a conversion. I'm just going to have the spooky side visible from the start. So there's loads of those fingers. And what's fun about these is, I mean, they almost look like they're glow in the dark. They aren't, but it's just that colour is just absolutely spot on. I mean, if they were glowing in the dark, that's exactly how they'd look. So there's another one. What do we got? 4, 5, 6, 7. So hopefully there's another one in here somewhere that I just can't see. Oh, there it is. 8. Enough for 2 skeletal scary hands. Ooh. Right, so also in spring green, I just got one of the lantern pieces. And that was also part of that Ghost Train Express set. I wanted that just to have kind of an accessory for a ghost to be waving around, and a lantern seems a very sensible choice in that respect. So very glad to have that as well. Now, Halloween's not just about the literal ghosts that are going to be in this scene. We need to have also some humans who are just enjoying the seasonal activities, trick-or-treating and all the rest of it, I suppose. Not that we do that traditionally in the UK, though it's becoming more and more popular, it seems. So I thought I'd get some of these figures which were part of the Halloween Hayride 40423. And it came with just two figures. One is this one, which is a man dressed as a mummy, who looks a bit angry in a way. I don't know if he's supposed to be angry, or if he's just got a bit of a angry resting face. But I only bought the parts that are really relevant to me. So I only bought the torso with the sort of decaying bandages on, and most importantly the head, which I'm really happy to say has got a yellow face behind it and not a flesh-coloured one, so I can use it in my city. So that is a man, a dad, who's maybe a bit tired of trick-or-treating there. And he came with like a big sort of farmer's hat and some trousers, obviously, in the main set. But those are the pieces that I needed so I can build my own trick-or-treater. And then the girl in that set was wearing this wonderful sort of skeleton patterned hoodie, and the skeleton pattern goes onto the back as well. So not so much a costume, but definitely a good sort of spooky get-up. So I like that a lot. So I can give that to a little trick-or-treater as well. Can't remember if I bought the head for her or not. So those are really interesting. Other minifigure parts. This was the sort of grumpy or happy face of a Hidden Side character called Scott Francis, and he was this mechanic guy. I think I was short the head last time, but I definitely wanted another one of these torsos because they're kind of a bit stained with the Octam badge up there, look. But it was the back print that I really liked, the sort of piston head with some spanners being held there. So I really like that one. So I made on that last Bricks and Pieces order, which was, wow, a long time ago, I made a sort of note on my wanted list that I definitely wanted to get another one of those to use elsewhere in my city. So it's been a long time coming. Talking of a long time coming, I think I was one ghost head short on my last order. I think I'd accidentally missed one off, or maybe it wasn't available yet. And this one is from the Haunted Fairgrounds 70432. And it's obviously one of the clowns, and you can probably see that because it's kind of got the remnants of clown makeup around the eyes with that sort of I don't know what you'd call it, kind of edgy bits on the top and the bottom. So that's really good. I don't know if I'm going to have haunted clowns or what, but I mean, it doesn't look like a clown on its own. It just looks pretty scary if you ask me. And here's another ghost part. So this is a part that I've already had, but much like that torso, I wanted to get a second one because I just thought it was so good. So this is the part that kind of goes in between a torso and some legs. So the legs would come out vertically like that, and it kind of brings the top of their body at an angle and makes them look like they're kind of split in two, I think. So I think that's wonderful. Looks really good. Obviously, I'd need that with a ghost head if I was to make it more accurate. But you can see that that looks quite spooky already, if you ask me. So that part was also in that Haunted Fairground 70432 set. But now I've got two of them. I've got one of the one that splits it into two heads. I've got one of the ones which is like a set of wings. And one of the ones which is that set of tentacles that came with the fisherman. So I should have a full set of really interesting sort of ghosty parts to use when doing my whole Halloween scene. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. Right, we may as well get through a few more minifigure parts while we are here. I can see two more heads which are both from the same character, double-sided, so there's the same one, but both sides at the same time. That one was from one of the JB characters, also in Hidden Side, the more recent one. I just love that smile, and I really love that sort of, oh my lord, sort of face. And I can use them all over. I mean, that on somebody just about to go down a big dip on a roller coaster would be amazing. And that one, anyone with an ice cream? Yeah, just be fantastic. So they're really good heads that I wanted more of. Then I've got this sort of ripped shirt, hairy chested torso, which I really like. Just more of the same on the back. It's got the hint of the convict stripes on it, though not so much that you would sort of have to presume that he was a convict. But it does come from a bad guy sort of thing. It's Vito, who's in the Elite Police Lighthouse capture set 60274. And it's just a torso I didn't have, so that's why I only went for that bit, because there's a few sets that got released slightly later in 2020, and the Elite Police ones were amongst those, which seemed to be quite sparse actually, but nonetheless, I didn't want any of those police sets because I've got enough sort of helicopters and stuff like that, so I just went for the literal pieces that I didn't have. And I've even got a full Vito in a slightly different outfit before, so I definitely only needed that one. But to be honest, I might put that back on my list as well, because kind of a checked shirt doesn't look very convicty at all to me, but with a very sort of hairy chest and with it sort of falling apart and being a bit tatty, I think I could definitely use more than once in my city, so that's really good. Really like that one. And here's another one from one of those new police sets. This one's from Elite Police Driller Chase, which is where this guy with, look at that, cool 75 on his back, in this sort of sports jacket with his convict shirt on underneath, is riding this great big driller vehicle away from the police. But you would have thought if a police car was after you and you had a great big drill machine, you'd just drill into the ground, wouldn't you? Because then you'd just get away. No, too simple. So on that one, the only things I needed, I think, were the torso and the new hair, which is this sort of, I don't know, sort of curly, tight hair, but in this medium nougat colour. So that's really nice as well. So there weren't many new pieces for minifigures in those sets, but there were a few. A good way to find them when they finally get listed on Bricklink is they actually have a little new sort of icon next to elements that are new. So if you looked at a minifigure and looked at its inventory and looked at all the constituent parts that made it up, you would be able to see immediately which ones of those were new, which you could find through other means, but it's as good as any. Right, and then all sorts of other sets for other projects. I've got one lamppost. I'll be buying a lot more of these for my old town, but this one's not for the old town. In fact, the one that I did use in the old town is not for the old town either. Therefore, my big mystery build, which I'll probably start after Halloween, which is going to be huge, and that's the one that's going to be powered by power functions, and that's what all of these dark red bricks are for. I've bought loads of dark red bricks already on Bricklink, but basically all the ones I couldn't get for a reasonable price, I had to get through Bricks and Pieces. So I mean, some of them were a bit more difficult to find, like Technic ones or these profile bricks. But some I just couldn't get a good price economically from the sellers that I was already buying from. So, you know, just filling in gaps. That is for a future sign. Say no more. I need a few more of these 2x3 tiles in grey for my pavements and so on. I've got quite a few smaller colourful pieces for builds. I think that's for a truck or a van. That's for my interesting powered building. Can't really tell you what it's for, as is that. It's going to be quite multicoloured. You might have noticed on other hauls already I've got loads of different colours. I've got yellows and blues and all sorts of different colours coming into play. Now, here's something tiny but interesting. I've got a little red feather. Now that is for using on a statue of me when I get the other piece. So the other piece is this hat that I wear, but in grey, and that's part of the new main square set 60271, which is not a great set in my opinion, and I definitely won't be getting it, but I probably wouldn't have got it even if it was a bit better, because I've already got Town Hall, I've already got a tram, I've already got basically all the elements in it, ice cream thing and everything, so I don't need it. The one thing I do need is just the grey hat of the Forest Man style to add a feather to, so I can make my own Robin Hood statue, just like in real life Nottingham. So I'm really keen to have that. It won't necessarily be me aggrandizing myself, I don't think, because nonetheless, there is a real Robin Hood statue in real Nottingham. So Brick Nottingham should have one too. And it's very nice of the Lego group to commemorate me and my channel in minifig form as a statue in a set. I mean, that's just a great accolade to have. So thank you very much, the Lego Group. And apart from that, we've got some ornate bricks just for some trim around the outside of the building. Oh, I've got another white workman's hat. I think that was for this guy. So we can have some haunted workmen. What else we got? We got these are for my bus, because we wanted a double-decker bus. So I'm going to be using these for the steps to get from the lower deck onto the upper deck. It's quite hard to see that, but it's a 1x2 panel piece with the 3 sides. These are for an underwater base. I've got so many different projects on, so that's probably a way off. Those are for the roof of my train, so they can go with that. Now these triangular tiles. I was thinking of using these at the airport because I figured that a few of these you can quite quickly make. Let's do it on one of these. You can quite quickly make kind of some patterns in the tarmac, maybe kind of like that, make a sort of little arrow or something like that. Obviously you do need the other side of that, because otherwise you'll have some bare plate showing. So yeah, that's something I was buying those to play around with. Black panes, they're for the advertising boards that will be in my haunted subway station. The non-haunted one has great big billboards for the cinema, films that are coming out and all the rest of it, but this one won't. This one will be a lot more scary, but I still need them. Somebody pointed out to me that when these have got stickers on, you'll barely be able to see that they're black, and maybe you should have just used clear ones, and that's a very good point. But I've got them now, so anyway. Oh yeah, and I got a couple of these ladders. So these ladders are the type that probably come with most fire engines, definitely the older ones anyway, and they kind of go together like that, so you can extend it. I'm not using it for a fire engine. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to use it for, but I've got a couple of nice brand new ladders to make a super long ladder with, so you can give me your guesses for that by all means. Got a couple of these tassels, and they're not for a Chinese restaurant. Already got one of those, so that's interesting. Oh, I got 4. Don't remember getting 4. I've got 4. What else have we got? Got those jumper plates with the 2 studs on. They're really useful. Can't remember the specific project that's for. Got a couple of these train motor sort of side bits that kind of decorate a powered motor. And I'm going to need those for, well, any more trains that I buy. Hint, hint. That's quite an interesting piece, kind of a backpack top bit, and it's got Technic holes on there and a couple of anti-studs on the bottom, so basically when it's on you can add all sorts of stuff to that. And what I want to do is kind of build, I don't know if I want to do a jetpack or kind of a wingsuit or something like that, but for my agents, because I've still got an idea to do kind of an agent's base, a goodie base, because heaven knows I've got a lot of baddie bases in Brick Nottingham, but the goodies need a bit of a helping hand as well. And then in between absolutely all of this, it's very hard for you to see probably, I've got an absolute load of these small window pieces, just the ones that go in the 1x2x2 window frames. Now, I don't know if it's worth us playing a quick round of guess the number of windows, but if you want to have a quick guess, and the answer is there are 110. Yeah. So it shows just how big that building is going to be. The dark red one, all these windows. The grey is for the trim around the windows. So you're going to have a very sort of nice colour scheme, I think, actually, building with power functions in. I know a lot of people have had guesses. I've had the guess of a mill. I had another guess for something else, but it's neither of those. So you're going to have to keep trying on that one. And let me just see if there's anything else interesting to show you. No, a couple of small tiles, a couple of big tiles. Yeah, that's about it. So, pretty good haul. Not the most exciting or diverse, but these are all fundamental to all of my upcoming builds. So a pretty simple haul today, but the good news is I don't have to wash any of them because they're all new, straight from Lego. But there's some interesting characters, and there's some really vital pieces for my Halloween builds that are coming up, so I'm really looking forward to doing those. Obviously there's a train involved, obviously there's a subway station, obviously there's some fingers involved, but the rest is a mystery. So do look out for those pieces being used in the coming weeks. Anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome Lego videos. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, well, we'll be going back to the airport for part 2. Yep, hot on the heels of Monday. We're going to go back there again and do some more. So, see you then!